Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to talk about GW's investor report that they just published for the past year. Now, in this, there's some information out there that some of you may be interested in. I'm going to try and break it down, talk a little bit about all of it in some very basic terms for you to all understand, and pick out some key points I think that are interesting to look at. Now, in this video, there are going to be things. I am in no way an investor. I've simply read it, taken some information, listened to other people, and read some articles that have been posted about it. And all in all, it does seem rather positive for Games Workshop, which is positive for us as, consumers. It is good to see the company we buy miniatures from, or indeed some of us buy miniatures from, doing well. So with that said, they have had a profit increase, so their total revenue increase has been about 12% increase over the past year. They've seen a core revenue increase, so that is generally stuff involving their trade, retail, and online. So that means, their online store, their trade partners, and their retail stores has seen about a 9-ish% increase, and then they've seen about a 3% increase in pre-tax profits as well. So that all sounds pretty positive, but I wanted to read a bit into the article and start looking at things that they were happy with during the year and things they maybe weren't as happy with during the year. And so let's look at the negatives first, because we can finish this on a high. So first of all, they have noticed that generally most places that they have sustainable large country sort of industries in, and big stores in, and communities within, they saw generally an increase, except in 3 countries which did not see a growth, but did not see any major decline except for one. So they've seen decreases, or rather not sustainable growth is probably a better way of looking at it. A decrease, I would say, is something that's massively decreased, where, we're probably sitting somewhere treading water for the 2 of these, and that is Australia and China. They've not seen. That may be that Australia was in prolonged lockdowns over here. Could be a multitude of different reasons. I know our cost of living here has dramatically increased, and Games Workshop prices have increased over here as well, which has probably not helped. And then in China, they've had their own issues with multiple other waves of COVID-19. And then, of course, the issues with Russia, we all know what's going on there. Obviously, they've lost revenue for an entire financial year almost now, or for the entirety of this year, from their Russian sales and indeed other sales in Ukraine, of which they hope we can all find a peaceful solution to come to that end. I'm not going to get any more into that. They're also saying that Brexit is affecting them. They're now having to solve issues of taxation issues and owing money to particular countries in taxables due to their sales. So, Brexit having the issue many thought it would on the EU, where now trying to get profits from the EU is actually not getting them as many profits as they maybe thought. They're having to pay more tax because they've not got these free trade agreements with the rest of the EU countries. But all in all, regardless of that, they again have told us that they've received a record growth again, which is positive. They've even said they beat a 40k launch year, which they view as, their benchmark. If they release a new edition of 40k, they expect that to be their best year in, a 3 to 4 year space. But on this case, they've actually beat a 40k launch year, and that is interesting because we were told, and we've all heard the rumours that Dominion did not do well. Dominion had overstocked, and I think maybe they produced too much rather than it maybe not selling as much as we thought. Because they said, there's profits, or maybe other releases have made up for the lack of Dominion not doing as well for Age of Sigmar. Now, I said they've seen retail and trade growth, like I said, in the majority of countries around the world, especially in those big ones, where, once again, they've seen about double-figure growth in percent-wise for most of this, and which is pretty good because for them, they've actually, that is seeing for their retail anyway, they don't have discounts on that, so they view that as a positive. Where trade, they have discounts and they expect to see more profit in their trade as their trade partners generally give discounts out. That is like, your friendly local game store and all of that. They also saw their online sales drop about 5%, but you know, that's not really an awful lot. They've stayed steady. That's, you know, a nice little sort of up and down. Such it is. Now, the things they want to talk about, I guess, in the years to come. First of all, they've got their big IP push. They're really looking to push the Warhammer IP further and further in the future. They have, you know, wants to obviously push Warhammer Plus more, get animation. They want live action. We've all heard the stories about the live action potentially happening. And they want to see more of that. They want to work with more video game partners. They've seen the success of Warhammer Total War. That's doing absolutely fantastic for them. I mean, that's pretty much ignited the whole old world thing, really. And then they also have seen some other interesting. They said their paint line growth was slower than they wanted. This is maybe saying that, you know, these contrast paints and these washes were actually supposed to be out a little while ago. They've had to, obviously, with issues around their warehouse and all their supply chains involving around the paints, this has actually slowed down what we're seeing in paint. So maybe we were actually supposed to see these contrasts and these new shades and these new formulas a little while before we actually saw them, you know, what was it, a couple of weeks ago. The other thing, apparently, that is growing is White Dwarf subscriptions are growing. Either subscriptions or sales or the places that sell White Dwarf magazine are growing. This, I think, is interesting because, for me, you know, magazines are almost a thing of the past. We don't have White Dwarf Digital anymore, so maybe this has something to implicate onto that in the fact that, you know, we don't have White Dwarf Digital, so more people are buying physical White Dwarfs, which means more places are able to sell physical White Dwarfs in this case. Now, for me, I want to say something about White Dwarf that I think it is truly amazing. I think it is the best value product that Games Workshop produce, hands down. I buy it every month now. Last month we got 4 brand new warbands to use the Underworld's warbands in Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry. We also got a new Necromunda team. We got extra rules for Feck. You know, it was a fantastic edition of White Dwarf, and they really are. If you're into specialist games, into looking for something else for your army, White Dwarf really is a fantastic product to go grab. Now, another thing they've seen is Black Library has had some major growth over the past year. They've actually noticed one different thing. For the first time ever, Black Library has made more sales in audio and digital book copies than it has in physical copies. This is maybe just a thing of the times, you know. I personally listen to all my audios on Audible or on the Black Library app. And I don't really buy that many physical books. I just don't have the place. And I do, you know, download books to read in a digital format now, which is interesting. Black Library is seeing digital growth, and we're obviously not seeing battle tomes and stuff being released in a digital form only now. So maybe, you know, battle tome growth may go up if we get digital battle tomes. I don't know. All in all, like, key things they want to really push for the future as well alongside this is they're looking into sustainability. They said they've started to recycle plastics, which I think is really interesting and positive for not only the environment, but us, you know, being able to see recycled plastics. You know, maybe we'll get those bins that people have been talking about in Games Workshop for a long time. I think this is something really good to see that they're working on, though the way they make it sound, they're like, it will take time to see results from this. It is what it is, but another one is obviously the inclusivity and representation within Warhammer. They want everyone and anyone to feel like they can play Warhammer is something they're really pushing as a product, and this is, you know, definitely something we are seeing more of. There was slight hiccups, obviously, with the Horus Heresy stuff. We all know about the little drama with how some things were worded in that. But all in all, I think this has been a really positive investor report to read. There are definitely negatives, and them addressing those negatives and looking and giving reasoning, I think, is positive. That means they know where issues are coming from. They are a company that is doing well. There's no other way around that. I don't believe they're on any sort of decline. They're just on the up and up. While they definitely aren't at the heights they maybe were last year, they're definitely seeing a steady sort of plateau now, which I think is probably what they're going to see in the future. I think what we are at now is probably the new norm for Games Workshop, and won't hit until either we see, you know, something change in a decrease or something change in a positive upcrease. But I'm going to leave links to the investor report and also an article talking about all of this in the video's description. You can go check them out for yourself, make your own opinions. If you are someone that's an investor, leave your own comments below. This is literally just information I've read and things I've picked up on reading. Like I said, I am no investor at all, and I make no claims to be. But This is food for thought. It's something interesting to read. It's good to see that the hobby, or rather Warhammer, is doing well. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. That's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, drop us a comment down below in the comment section and let us know what you enjoyed about the video and what you'd like to see more of on the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here we have at Sinful Gaming, you can do so on our Discord server, which is linked in the video's description. Also linked in the video's description is our Patreon and YouTube members, where you can go to help support the channel and allow us to keep doing what we're doing. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, Kenny Lowe, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, and Giappy390. And to our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, and Monty's Tabletop Terrain. And lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now, everyone.